Hi everybody, Pastor Joseph here with the Daily Spirit Lift today. I've been dealing with the question of if we didn't have any resources, where would you start? As sort of a thought experiment. Because when we come back from COVID, I think things are going to be a lot different. We've already started to come back, and I know people who, for very valid reasons, have concerns about going back into groups and what that would mean for their health. So how are we going to minister to each other in this kind of setting? And it's got me really thinking about this kind of stuff. I said in a previous video that the Desert Fathers and Mothers, the first thing they did was to prepare themselves to enter into ministry. They backed off. They got rid of everything that kept them from Christ. For Augustine, it was sexuality and gluttony. For St. Anthony, it was his wealth, St. Anthony of Egypt. And they got rid of what they felt kept them from paying close attention to Christ. Now, the second step, if you really had very few resources, the second step, I think, would have to be something along the lines of trying to focus on what it is that we're called to do as Christians. I saw a statistic today that the average American sees between 4,000, that's on the low end, and an estimated 20,000 ads a day, depending on how much you're online and that sort of thing. 4,000 and 20,000 ads a day. Now, I don't know if they've ever timed out how many ads, how much every commercial is, how many hours a day that is, but it would be a pretty hefty chunk, I would think, of advertising. And the amount of brain clutter that's got to create. Every inch of our day, it seems, is covered with ads. From the YouTube videos to the amount of ads we see on Facebook. Even my email has ads in it when my email server. I open up to the homepage and it's got ads all over it just to do the daily business of what I have to do. Our web pages have ads on them. I don't know about you, but I find myself less paying attention to ads than I used to. There used to be a time when fewer ads probably meant you paid more attention. Think of like, the I Would Teach the World to Sing Coke ad from the 70s, or Spuds MacKenzie. Those sorts of things, they don't seem to have ads like that anymore because there's too many of them. They don't capture your imagination in the same way that mascots, Tony the Tiger, used to. But that understanding about ads reminded me of something. I recall a pastor telling me many, many years ago that he had a parishioner who used to really have a problem with focusing. And it was a problem that bothered him. Not the pastor, but the person who brought it to the pastor. He said, I want to really be connected to God, so I have this devotional, I have this upper room book, I have this book, I have that book, I have this book, I have a prayer book. He says, I really can't, I don't feel like I'm praying ever enough, or I'm praying the right way, or that God ever hears me, or that I know enough to be a good disciple of Jesus. And the pastor, who was very wise and had many years of experience, said to this man, hold up a minute. He says, those things are great if they're aids to prayer. They're great if they tell you a story that moves you. They're great if there's something that helps you. But if this is causing you anxiety, he said, throw all those books away. Put them away in a closet someplace and go and read the Gospels. And so I think in 2020, that might be our time too, to spend a day or two without any technology. Could you do it? And instead of technology, spending time in the Word. The Gospels aren't all that long. Matthew is the first gospel, a good place to start. Lots of memorable texts. Mark is the shortest gospel, very easy to read. If you like the parables, Luke is a good place to go. If you are a fan of the beauty of writing, beautiful images and imagery, then St. John's Gospel might be the place to go look. But what would it mean to just sit down? You could sit down tonight after you turn off this daily spirit lift, and you could read Mark's Gospel in one sitting quite easily. Pretend you're reading it like you're reading it for the first time, like you've never encountered it before. What does it mean to hear that the kingdom of God is like a seed? What does it mean to know that this Jesus, this perfect teacher, dies in rejection on a cross? What does it mean to hear the story of the prodigal son for the very first time? I think sometimes we're too busy. I know I am. I think of all the things I do all day that I'm only half listening to or half paying attention to. I'm driving in the car and I'm listening to this news report or that news report, or only half listening. I think of the times that I spend in meetings and my mind wanders. Think of the times I spend answering emails and only half thinking about what my answer is. And I think of how often I read the Gospels, and because I'm familiar with them, as many of you are, I skip over those shocking parts. I skip over those hard to understand parts where Jesus says I have to love my enemy. I skip over those parts where Jesus says we're to take up his yoke, for it is easy and his burden is light. I forget how often I'm only half paying attention to the scriptures, which is the foundation and the understanding of who I am. It's the foundation and the understanding of how I got to this place in life. It was taught to me by Sunday school teachers many years ago, some of whom are gone now. Preachers and teachers who spent time in the Word. So I challenge you, brothers and sisters, take a book of the Bible. It doesn't have to be the Gospels, but certainly wouldn't be any better place to start than there. And dive in. Dive in as if it's the first time you've ever read it. As if someone is giving this to you as a gift. Because that's what it is. The gospel given to you as a gift. Try and step back from those 20,000 ads and step into the new reality that Christ has set forth for us. Thanks, everybody. See you here on another day very soon. Stay safe, stay well. Questions or comments in the comments below. Take care, everybody. Miss you all, love you all. Be good.